Alright, well g'day, Richard Musgrave-Evans here again and welcome back. Now, down the coast, got an absolutely beautiful day, got a fantastic subject, lovely headlands jutting off into the Never Never, into the distance, beautiful blue water, blue skies, massive Belgian linen, buckets of paint and palette knife. Can't wait to get started. Let's get into the biggest differences now between having absolutely nothing and the finished product. Alright. I might just do a little bit of drawing with the knife itself, maybe get a bit of, what do we got, phthalo. I've got ultramarine blue and phthalo blue. Just going to get a bit of phthalo with the white. That's just so I can use it as a linear to block out a few things, and then I'll get stuck right into it. Okay, so today, I reckon headland's going to jut to there. Actually, I might just quickly block it. Change of tack. We'll go to ultramarine blue. I'm just going to quickly, I want to get rid of that tape pretty soon. That tape's there just to get a level horizon. I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to go ultramarine blue, viridian green, magenta, try and get a nice neutral. What do we got today on the horizon? Let's just have a look at what value this is. It's close on right. Just put that in. Tape's not there for long, it's just to give me a guide. That'll do, we'll take her off already. Okay, so that's got the horizon nice and level, now we'll go from there. A bit more white again. Bit more white. I'm just trying to do this linear picture like I'm talking about. That'll shoot across to there. This trail's on a bit of a funny angle, so I want to make sure I've got all my levels right. Okay, so it'll cut in like this. And the water will cut back in that way. The land, there's a nice zigzaggy road coming through the picture. Like so. Just, I reckon that, what do we got here? Maybe I'll have that, the road ending there, shooting across this way. This lovely little track I'm standing on. And a bit of a jutting out headland there. It's just lines and marks, just feeling my way, and once I get sure about what I want, I'll lock it in. But for now, just feeling it as we go. Right, so that'll come in there. Another line up here. Let me just see what I've got here. Okay, there's a little bit of a coastal breeze, but that won't matter because we've got this plein air trailer, which is fantastic for just blocking all those winds. Let's go for some nice darks. Alizarin crimson, viridian green, opposite on the colour wheel. Now there's not too many darks because we've got the sun above me and behind me. So the whole landscape is fairly lit up. But I will have something here. Just a few darks here. Not too many. It's mainly a light matrix picture. That's pretty much about all the darks already. I was saying there's not a lot, but there's a few down by the beach there maybe. We'll just put a few with a little bit lighter, with a bit of a sky blue thrown in. Well, not sky blue, the horizon blue that I was mixing up. Yeah, that'll be there. Just got to work out where everything is. It's such a big picture, I've got so much to do right from the word go, so there will be a bit of dark there, I've decided. Okay. Alright, now I'm just going to establish that water right now. Go for a bit of phthalo blue, burnt sienna, magenta, trying to knock it back a bit more phthalo blue, maybe viridian green. I'm trying to, it's a fairly neutral blue. It's not the fullest strength blue, but it is fairly blue, so we'll go pretty clean, but throw a few other colours in just to grey it down a bit, neutralise the chromatic saturation. A bit more magenta and white. Right up there, yeah, put that in. Got to work out where that, there we go. Once the headland starts to appear here, we're working out where the zigzaggy bits go. They jut in and out. Okay, so pull that paint down. Plenty of it on. That's it. We'll get the basic colours on, move everything around, get the big impression. Once we've got that, then start working out a bit more refinement. But for now, and making it more defined as to where things are going. But for now, it's just a general feeling. A bit more viridian green as I get into the shallows and white. In the high noon of summer, the sun's directly overhead, you get huge viridian greens because it shines straight down and it puts really intense greens. At the moment, because it's autumn on the way to winter, the sun's lower and you're getting more of the reflection of the sky rather than looking straight into the water. But they're both beautiful, it's both beautiful either way. It's coming along good. Get some burnt sienna and some white. Mix it with those colours. The shallow water, let's have a look. It's just got that bit of burnt sienna mixed in with it. Like so, and there's a bit of weed and rock down there as well. Excuse me, which I'll put in a minute. Right. Okay, I won't get too defined on that, I'll leave it at that, and now we'll change tack and go paint some of the sky, get the bulk of the sky in. I'm trying to get rid of most of the white so then I can really judge the values between each other. White, magenta, a whole lot of these other blues that we're just using. Mix them in to get a fairly neutral horizon colour. Bit of a coastal haze right on the horizon. Let me just see what I've got. Not too bad. Keep on mixing. Put that in. I'm not going to quite touch yet because that'll get me a muddy mess. So I'm putting it in, just leaving a little bit of a gap. I'll pull those two together in a minute once I've decided that everything's right and locked in, and then I'll start pulling the two together. But for now, as we're blocking in, we don't want to make a muddy mess, so I'm just keeping them separate. Alright, that's that like that, nice. Now we've got the headland starting to jut up around here. There's a lot of yellow ochre in the sky down low too once we get past this one. Put that in. It's nice. Very good indeed. Okay. Let me just have a look, then I'll get stuck into the next layer yellow ochre. Just love painting on site because it allows you yellow ochre, bit of phthalo blue. It really allows you to see the colours. When you're working at home, it's a bit of make-believe, you're making stuff up, you're trying to remember, maybe a bit of burnt sienna in that. You're trying to remember what was there on the day rather than just pure observation, so you're being more subjective instead of objective, I guess. Nice, these yellow ochres, it's keyed down a little, let's have a look. Whoa, that is full on. I'm going to have to change that a little, but I like that because like I said, there is a lot in there. It's a little bit too green. I'll just put it in and then I'll change it. Quick, smart. phthalo blue, white. I'm going to get some ultramarine blue. That phthalo blue is just so strong. I need to knock it back a bit. The ultramarine just kills it off a bit. It's not quite so intense. Oh, that's more of a straight blue. Yeah, with a bit more white thrown in to lighten the value. Mix, mix, mix. Put that in. There's always so much to do at this stage of the painting. Just got to get it in there and then go for it. Okay. I'll pull the two together a little. Pull those ochres into those blues. Plenty of paint on there. It's chunky style. Lovely stuff. Come down to that horizon haze. Mix it into that. It looks fairly dark now, the sky, but that'll make it beautiful because it's such a light landscape lit up. By keeping that sky dark like that, it'll help light the land right up, get that feeling of sunlight. Whoops, what am I hooked on? Hook on the palette. Alright, that's looking alright. Let me just put that there. Let me just have a look, see what I reckon. Going good. We'll change now. We'll go to ultramarine, white. Guess I can still go over here. Ultramarine. It's getting more red as it goes up, less of those greens. Just have a look. It's got more red in it. Put that on. Go up another layer. White, ultramarine, more ultramarine. Maybe a bit of phthalo too, and magenta. So it's got that red-blue look about it. And slightly darker, cleaner as it's going up. I want to get that real Australian full sunlight, which we've got today. It's beautiful. Beautiful sky. So many subtle colours to be had in there too. I'm going to wear some of this in a minute on the front of my shirt because I can see my shirt's hanging out. Right, white, ultramarine blue, phthalo, magenta, less white. That's a darker value as it goes up. Let me know what you see in other countries. Like in Australia, the sky goes so blue. Is that the case on a clear day on different countries in Europe? And I reckon America would get fairly blue skies. I'm wondering about some of those European skies. Let me know what you think as to how blue on a sunny day you get your skies. I'm interested. But here they go super blue. Just put another layer on in a minute. Just going to do a top up with the white. These cartridges are fantastic. Alright, ultramarine, phthalo, magenta. Run out of magenta now, use a bit of this red here then. These are on crimson. I need that magenta. It's going to be a fair bit of magenta. The rocks even on the landscape here, jutting out into the water, have got a bit of magenta as well, so I needed more for sure. Okay, so that's got the least amount of white. It's beautiful and deep blue. Can barely reach that. Gives you such a good platform to work on though, this plein air trailer, when you're painting this size. Really gives you a nice surface to work on that doesn't move around in the wind and You're not going to worry about it blowing over in the middle of painting your picture. You can concentrate on what you're doing. Alright, so that's that done. I'm just going to stand back and have a look and see what I reckon. I reckon now I'll get stuck into getting this big white area blocked in. I've just got a bit of orange there too, which I'll use now. Orange, alizarin, bit of burnt sienna as well. I'm trying to get the colour of those rocks. They're a beautiful colour. A bit more burnt sienna, a bit more cat orange. Just have a look. Yeah, they're that kind of colour. Stick them in. Well, that went quick. Burnt sienna, cat orange, magenta. Use some of these lighter values like the sky here. Just throw that in to lighten her off. It's got a bit more magenta in it. That can do, maybe as we go back a bit. Some up in here. Whoa, where'd that straight cat orange come from? That could be a bit of a happy accident. I might use that later. Pull back to it and get some nice effects. A bit more white with that mix. Magentas. Jutting out. Right in, take that up. There's quite a few little headlands jutting in and out. So I'll stick them in, hang on. Just going to go with a slightly smaller knife. There's some very refined headlands back here. Yeah, there's a gust of wind really kicking in at the moment. Alright, now change tack, go to the yellow ochre and white. White, really lighten the value. Yellow ochre and white. Yellow ochre, white. Let me just have a look. Yellow ochre and white. Lighten that right up. Yeah, now that'll scoof up there like that. Some of that'll scoof down here like that. Up like that. Just got to feel my way through. So I'll use some of these blues, some of these sky blues, this kind of colour in here. It's a similar colour to those salt bushes, isn't it? There's a lot of salt bushes kicking around in this painting. Mix a bit of magenta with that sky blue. Let's have a look. Bit of Viridian green. Just trying to get some of those salt bush colours. That's it. Put some of them in. Right, just going ballistic here, trying to get some coverage. Go, put that in, keep on going, just trying to get rid of those whites as quickly as possible so I can judge what I'm doing. Yellow ochre and white, burnt sienna, white. There we go, that's it. Keep on going. It's going to come all like that. Yeah. A few of those salt bushes up in here. Oh, they're kicking down there. Feel my way through. That's going all right. I'm just going to keep on moving. I want to get... I've got paint all over myself. I guess that was bound to happen. I want to get all this blocked in as quickly as possible so I can start judging everything else. A bit more magenta, yellow ochre and white. More yellow ochre, white. Just trying to get a bit of a neutral colour here. Stick that in nice up to the edges. Chunky paint up close, lovely. One of those blues down the middle here. Right. White, white, yellow ochre and white, yellow ochre and white. More white. I want to get quite a high key value for that road. It looks quite light in value. Lock her in. There we go. Let's keep her on going. Good here. A bit more yellow ochre. I'm just varying the colours slightly. It's slightly deeper in value just here, I'm noticing, on the edge of the road. Slightly deeper in value there. Let's just get this covered, like I said, so we can judge what's going on. Put it all in. There we go. Okay. Alright, so excuse me, that's all looking good. Let's just get some white again. Go for some high key colours, bit of cad orange and yellow. I've just stuck a bit of that cad yellow there as well now. Still with the yellow ochre. Just trying to get a very high key colour. What colour? Right. Because that road kicks in here and kicks across that way. Yellow ochre, sorry, cad yellow, white and yellow ochre. Real high key, beautiful colour. A little bit more orange in it. White. Shoots off there. More white. Trying to feel where it goes. And then it shoots across that way. Seems to be what's happening. Yep. A bit more of the yellow and the orange. Beautiful high key colours. There's some nice colours jutting out just here. And a bit of a road jutting around. There's a bit of a track here. People have been parking down there, I can see, so we've got a bit of action going there. And then more of this yellow ochre, cad yellow and white. Really high key. Down onto the beach here, it's beautiful. Area sticking out, and then a bit of a one there. That's going good. Okay, so that rocky beach, it's very sandstone. It's got a real gritty kind of sandy, and what's happening is it's breaking up onto the beach, and it's making the beach colour go the same colour as that rock. So I'll get some magenta, burnt sienna, white. Still got yellow ochre in it. It's got that lovely brown dominant from that rock on the beach. So let's have a look. Let's put that on. Stick it through here. And it shoots that around there like that. There goes a car. White. It's quite a light value just in here. Quite a light value there. There's the car smashing around down there. Looking good. Now there's still this little bit here, so what I want to do is recede that off, and I'll do that by adding a little bit more magentas and grey blues from over here to the white and ochres. More of the magenta, yep. Still got the yellow ochre in it, but it's been keyed off by the distance. Let me just have a look first what I've got. Okay, so that's further away because the magentas and the blues have centred off. Alright, so I'm going to get a brush. I've got a lot covered. I'm going to get a brush out and just soften some of this water and sky up. So I might accidentally get in the way here a bit. There you go, just pull that through. Just get that. Move that along there. Nice. Pull some of that into this area. That's good. Just with a fresh brush, clean. Just going to get that beautiful horizon going on there. Mix those ochres down into that haze, coastal haze. Now they're blending together, they're looking more convincing. That's it. Bring that next layer of blue down into it. Beautiful stuff. It's blending nicely. Look at that. That's going together well. Oops, there's a fly mixed up in the works. It's all part of it. Get the top edge nice and neat. Just go to the edges here for a minute. Now bring that darkest blue down. Just melt it down nicely. Okay, it's got a nice feel. Right, here we go, magenta, burnt sienna, a little bit of the blues, more magenta and burnt sienna. I'm trying to get the colour of the weed in the water. What colour is it? That's not magenta, or here's magenta. I ran out of that alizarin crimson, doesn't matter, that's all good. Bit of the sky blue, magentas. We got there. Could go slightly darker, so I'll use a little bit more blue, a bit more magenta, a bit more blue. Just trying to get the feeling of the darker values of the weed that's in the water. The rocks and weed that are in the water are a little bit darker. Stick some out there. A little bit chuffing around here. Actually, I'm seeing a bit more turquoise in the water as the sun gets higher. The sun's getting higher, and more of those summer turquoises that I was talking about kind of appearing in the water through here. So another brush. Just got to bring that down. Get rid of that white. Pull that through a little. That's nice. Alright, what are we going to do here? Yellow ochre. Put a deeper value in the paddock there. Bit more foliage here. Salt bushes, little bits of scrub here and there. Burnt sienna. Like that. Just adding a bit of bushes and stuff. Salt bush, that is. A bit more burnt sienna. It's quite a burnt sienna colour, some of these little shrubs, and they've even got a splash of magenta with the burnt sienna. They're quite dark in value. There we go. Stick them in like so. Alright, mix up a bit of white, yellow ochre, magenta. Trying to get some of the light values of that beach up ahead over here. Some really light stuff just there. Put that in. It's a beautiful sun-filled landscape. I'm just going to keep moving around. A bit of cat orange, white. What do we got here? Maybe a twangy yellow in it. More white to lighten that value. It's a little bit kicking around there. I'll put that in. Definitely plenty kicking around in here. That's nice. These cliffs are beautiful. Love the orangey highlights on them. And you get these magenta headlands jutting out. What a lovely place to be painting. Keep on going, keep on going. Alright, just shut this one up. Things are really getting there. Feel like I'm getting a big impression. Full sunlight, subtle pinks and browns and ochres and all the subtle tones, really high key because it's the full Australian sunlight. I'm also noticing that just off in the distance, there's a couple of little shacks, a couple of little buildings just around here, and that's a great highlight. So I reckon I'll put them in. We'll just get a bit of very high key colour. Lay them on real thick. I might just get a bit of paper towel while I'm at it. Okay, so we'll go again, white. Lay that on like so. Get a nice rooftop. Bit one here. Wipe it clean because I've got wet on wet going on here and there's paint underneath. There's paint underneath, hang on, I'll just do another one. And that wet paint underneath will pick up onto this clean, beautiful white unless I put plenty on and really lightly touch. Knife on edge, grab a bit more white. It's a vertical, a bit of a power pole or something there. Bit of another one here. Right. Just with a cleaner, larger knife, I'm just going to clean up the base by taking a bit of paint off. Clean things up like so. That's nice. Okay, now a bit more of this cad orange and white and yellow. There's a bit more of this just jutting through here. A little bit of these ultramarine shadows again. Got a bit lost. Where are we here? Just a few shadows. Even on the side here there's a little bit. Just got to be careful, I don't want to overdo it. Turquoise is really, I've put a lot of turquoise in there and it's really starting to kick in there now, which is great. So it's very similar. So many subtle ochres in the landscape itself. There's subtle pale oranges and ochres and magentas, and I'm really trying to play up on that and put all those subtle, so when we get the camera off and you come buzzing in, you'll see there's a lot of variety in the subtle colours and a few bugs in the sky. Oh well. Looking good. What I'll do is I'll get some of this cad, some of that. I want to get some of this kind of highlighted a little. A few rocks kicking around here and there in the water itself. What do we got? A little bit of these blues again. There's just a few poles kicking around the paddock, power poles. Nice vertical, kind of looks good, breaks up the landscape. Like so. Another bit of a one just here somewhere. Sticking up. He's all coming along. We'll just get some of these pale blues again. The shadows are becoming more and more obvious all the time. Just want to pick a few more of them out. Beautiful blue shadows to really start to define where the road is. So. Yeah, right, let's keep on going with that theory. Just a little bit of blue along here. Fly. So, and I'm going to pick out a few of there's a few fence posts of the paddock just up here, so I reckon we'll put some of them in, that'll look good. Just a hint of detail to give the illusion that there's more going on. I might just grab a smaller knife, unfortunately. Pains me to do so, but I'll go to a smaller knife, eh? Just draw some of those in. That one's way more obvious, maybe a little too obvious. All right, well, I reckon I'll leave it about that because the sun's starting to move around now, and I've got the big impression of when the sun's a couple of degrees lower, and I feel like it's not quite as high and as intense as it was before. So I'll be just chasing it if I keep on going. So what I think I'll do is I'll leave it at that. I've got the feeling of the full sunlight, got that beautiful water contrasting dramatically against these warm tone rocks. Absolutely beautiful warm tone rocks with very soft, cool turquoises and blue. Really contrast. Then all the subtle variances of colour all through here. Ochres, cat oranges, magenta rocks, just pale colours. When I get that camera off and come in, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I think that just a suggestion of these shadows that are starting to kick in now, not too much, has just described now to your eye what it is. Before they were just blocks of colour, it was hard to read, but now I've got a bit of light and shadow. It's making it a little bit clearer through here as to what's going on. A few of those saltbush colours, nice little road leading into the picture and then dancing its way through, off to the little shacks, a few power poles here and there, nice headland going out, a few little bugs. It's got that beautiful haze that I put on the horizon. You saw that haze I stuck on, and then the yellow ochres, and then gradually worked my way up. Little bit touches of turquoise and a few bright cads to make it jump. On the whole, pretty happy with what's going on. Why don't we get that camera off now? We'll come buzzing right in. You guys can have a look and see what you think. All right, thank you. Pretty twisted up. It's dropping a wheel in the hole. You can see we've got a bit of articulation going on. She's dropped into a hole. It's spinning, so I'll put the max tracks there, try and get a bit of grip on it. Just going to stick the max tracks in. Oh, she's a steep hill. Just a little bit more. Put her in. Alright, so there we go, eh? Well, there you go, a little bit of fun. The wheels were so twisted up they were losing traction, so I stuck 2 max tracks under one side to try, and because the wheel was almost off the ground, by putting all the max tracks underneath, it gave it some extra grip. It's just enough to get going. I'm glad, because seriously, that is a big steep hill going down there. That gives you a kind of idea. You can see the steepness now. If I'm holding that vertical, if I'm holding this horizontal, you can see the landscape beside me. And there's a drop off on the side. I was going up the side to try and avoid these holes, so I thought I'll come up on the side, and that way I can miss out on all the drama. But what happened, by putting myself close to the side, if I tried to reverse down, I'd probably go off the edge, so there was no going backwards. But these max tracks just paid for themselves, I tell you what. Oh, blimey, Charlie. Didn't want my trailer stuck and rolled. I just finished that big painting, so there's no way I wanted to lose my trailer and my painting. Absolutely not. Anyway, we're back at the top. I was going to camp down the bottom because someone left some firewood down there. Tell you what, I think I'll bring the firewood up instead. Once I went down, I thought, hang on, I thought I can't relax until I get back at the top, so I'll have a practice run, come back up. If I come up easy enough, I'll just go back down there and camp the night. Well, obviously I'm not going to be camping down there now. I was lucky to get out of that. Big boreholes. That's the first time I've ever used max tracks not in mud or sand. I've used them in sand bogs before and mud bogs. I've never used them like on gravelly rock, where you're just articulating too much and the wheels are leaving the ground. That's a heavy load, that trailer on the back. Normally the car would go up quite easy. But it's a bit of a load. I carry everything and the kitchen sink. So I reckon we'll camp here. There we go. There's a campfire over here somewhere. Upper end to lay the swag out. Good as gold. There we go. Alright. Bit of a fire break. Oh, heavy. Yeah, better. Yeah, right. Alrighty. This centerpole's a ripper. Holds it all together. Lovely. I like to keep the camp simple like this, just a swag, fire, comfort. Of course I've got a whole blooming mob of stuff on board, but I don't really need it all. Most of it's painting gear. I prefer just the simple sleeping under the stars. Swag's totally waterproof. It can be raining, can be doing whatever. All the sides roll up. Mozzie nets, it's all good. Alrighty, let's get this cup of tea on the go. Oh, I can't wait for my cup of tea, I tell you what. Absolutely. Oopsie. Here we go. Let's grab these. Yep, she's on the boil. Yep, she's nicely brewed. Oh, lovely stuff. It's just so nice being out here. On location, plein air. It's great to just get away from it all for a while and just exist. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Gotta start thinking about something to eat now. I should have knocked up a feed earlier. Oh well. Ran out of time. One more cuppa, a bit more milk. look at the cuppa and away we go. There we go. Cheers. Liquid gold. Alright, well here we are, freezing cold morning. Next morning you can see all these clothes on. Clear sky, that's why it's so cold, but also there's just this gentle wind chill coming through camp, freezing me up a bit. I've got the fire going, got the billy just coming onto the boil, so we're all good there. And I'm just cooking some rice here. I'm going to have a nice warm breakfast. Rice, you would have seen me do it before, blueberries and all the good gear. Can't wait for that, but for now it's going to be a cuppa. It's a perfectly clean day as I'm saying, so I think we're going to get some nice painting done today. It should be fun. Can't wait to get started. Rocket fuel. Alrighty, I'll leave that on the slow cook now. Perfect for lunch. That means straight after all that, I can get into an afternoon painting and don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat. I've had my main meal for the day. Fantastic. Alright, while I'm waiting for that one to cook, I'm just going to head back down the coast here and check out a composition, maybe for later on. Just make our way down here again. Bit of a steep slope. There we go. It was right here then. No worries. Let's climb back hill there. We'll drop down that one. Into the sunlight there. These rocks, as you saw in the painting yesterday, when I painted them, they're a real interesting colour. Come out onto the rocks. Whoops. Okay, so the painting, you can see that there's the four-wheel drive track that I got stuck on yesterday coming up the hill. That's what I just ran down then, actually the same thing. You can see there's some, you can see that there's some nice warm cliffs over there. That could be good for painting. Alright, well you can see things never look as steep on camera. I don't know if that looks steep or not, but that's where I got stuck yesterday. Coming up this thing, loose, of course you lost traction, all sorts of dramas. Anyway, not to worry, we're here now, we've made it. Lovely stuff. See how the food's cooking. Shouldn't be too bad. Looks pretty good. It's going to be hot. Just have a little taste. Good stuff. Spot on the money. Wow. There's always something about cooking in the camp oven, it just adds an extra dimension to the flavour. That is fantastic. well, there you go, just a nice quick little study. Just an 8x8. Beautiful afternoon, beautiful evening. And the cliffs are really lighting up well now with this late evening light. I feel like I've really captured it. Pretty happy with what's going on. Let's get it back to camp. Alright, well, that was a nice little picture. Just whipped that one together and pretty happy with what's going on. So, just got to get all this gear back up the hill. Got all sorts of stuff here, as well as the camera that I'm holding, talking to you guys. Anyway, it's all good fun. Yeah, that was a beautiful little fleeting moment, so really happy. I threw a little bit of beeswax into that one, and the reason I did that is I just wanted to thicken the paint up a little, because I find with those little ones, because I'm painting very impasto, I like to have it quite thick and chalky so I can lay warm and cool colours next to each other without it getting too muddy and smearing too much. But on the big ones, I prefer to use straight paint where I can get it around quicker. If it's too thick, I can't push it around fast enough with the knife. So yeah, just experimented then. Bit of beeswax on the, just climbing this full drive hill that I got bogged on yesterday. Yeah, a bit of beeswax just thickened the paint up, made it pasty. Very good for doing what I was just doing. Whoops. There we go, got the vehicle over there. And then we're just down there where the setting sun is. Alright, let's get back to camp. Great little location, well, I've got myself here. Those rocks, once the evening light gets on them, are actually really nice. They really punch out a bit of colour. It's still not completely sunset yet, there's still about probably another 20 minutes until sunset. Anyway, here we are. This is me back at camp. Alrighty, let's pop you guys there, hang on, oops. Got the daisy, there we go. Got all my paper towel bits. Beautiful bird life. Alright, put this over here. So there we go. Pretty happy with what's going on there. I think I've done fairly well. Caught the moment. Alright, now like I said, I've already made dinner. I've got a little bit of leftovers from then. I'll just have that. It's a very easy night now because I did all the hard work in the middle of the day.